What's going on, Lazy Bushcrafting fans? This is episode 3 of the Lazy Bushcrafting podcast. So today we're going to talk about the basics. If you're an experienced hiker, if you're an experienced camper, this is not the video for you. Just go watch the vermud video. You have fun with that one. We're going to talk about the basics of hiking and camping. So whatever it is, the equipment that you will need, this is the video that's going to be it. So if you have any questions at the end of the video, leave it below in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I promise. Hiking. So really basic and simple. You can wear shorts. You can wear pants of any sorts. Jeans if you really wanted to. I used to hike in jeans. Just have good sneakers. And the shirt on your back is fine. That's the most basic things that you will need. Now if you want to get slightly more advanced, you're gonna want a Nike dry fit shirt, some sort of shorts, long pants that is nice and loose. I would say boots. I mean, some people they'll keep wearing sneakers, but I prefer the boots because every time I kick a rock or something like that, I want my toes to be protected. Now, if I was to recommend a brand for a new guy, Merrell's. Get yourself some Merrell's. They're nice and cheap. They're decently durable. Okay, I'm not going to say that they're like the most durable brand, but they're decently durable. They have good grip, and also they have a variety of different types of boots that you can get. Low tops, high tops, mid tops, whatever it is that you need. Something else that I would also recommend is get yourself a headlamp. If you get yourself a headlamp, if you're out in the trails for too long and in the sun sets, you're going to need it. A cell phone is not going to work. I mean, it might, but I would prefer a headlamp because simply you wear it around your head, whatever you're looking at, you can see, you can go, right? Just to give you a short story, myself, my sister, Anita, and also John, we went to Franconia Ridge. We were up there for way too long. And when the sun set, I was the only one with a headlamp. John was using a cell phone, and let me tell you, that thing does not give you any light. Not when you're out there and when it's super dark. If you're in your room and you're using your phone, that's great. But when you're out in the woods, nope, absolutely not. Another thing that I would highly recommend, just in case, a water filtration system. Get yourself a Sawyer Squeeze. If you have an REI, you can go there, take a look at what they got. But I recommend a Sawyer Squeeze for the hiking. Simply because it's small, it's not that big, you fit it in the backpack. If you need it, you need it. If you don't need it, it weighs like, I don't know, barely a few ounces. That will save your life if you need water. If you're so desperate for water, you will be able to put the dirty water back in the stream, take some water out, squeeze some fresh water into your bottle, and then boom, you have a nice, cold water bottle of stream water or whatever. Those are the things I would highly recommend. That way you're going to be safe, and you're going to have all the gear that you will need for a day hike. Now, if we're going to talk about camping or backpacking, I guess depending on where you're from in this country or in the world, they're the same thing, backpacking country. So, actually, no, I am wrong. If you're backpacking in Europe, then you're going to just be, going from city to city with a backpack, and you're pretty much a tourist. So we're going to talk about wilderness backpacking and camping. Those are the same thing. Now, to start off as a basic, pretty much anything that I talked about hiking, you can use for camping. You're going to need the pants, you're going to need the shirts, obviously, good pair of boots, and you're going to get a bigger backpack. I highly recommend when you start off, don't get too big of a backpack. Some people straight up get like 80 liters. Like, that's insane. Unless you're like 6'6", 80 liters is way too big. I'm like 5'10", I think, at this point. I'm at a shrunken inch. 5'11" before, 5'10", whatever. Mine's is like 50 liters. It's, in my opinion, almost a perfect size. I probably would prefer a slightly bigger one because like sometimes I have too much stuff for like the 4-day trips and over. But you're going to want something around the 45 to 55 liter range, depending on your height and weight. From there, you're going to need a sleeping bag. You're going to need a tent. You're going to need a sleeping pad. Those are pretty much the 4 major things that you will need. Whenever you're asking questions about about camping, the 4 big items is going to be the tent, sleeping pad, sleeping bag, and the bag itself. So you don't have to go super expensive and pay a ton of money for all those items. You can get them for pretty cheap, but make sure you're just gonna get quality items. Read the reviews before you get something cheap on Amazon, because a lot of times there's a lot of items that really suck. Another item that you're gonna need is you're gonna need a stove. You can get one from MSR. Pocket Rockets are pretty good. I personally have a Pocket Rocket Deluxe. Pretty much Pocket Rocket Deluxe versus a Pocket Rocket. Pocket Rocket, you're gonna need a match or some sort of ignition source. So light the match to the stove, and then the gas will combust. If you're using a Pocket Rocket Deluxe or something that's similar that has a piezo lighter on it, those things you click, and a little spark will ignite the gas, and then next thing you know, you have a nice flame to make your food for the night. Now you can either bring a skillet, a small one, or you can boil water and put it into your dehydrated meal. Now if you do it with your skillet, obviously you gotta think about cleaning it, you gotta think about, the extra food you're bringing, like, if you're bringing steak or any type of meat or vegetable, those will add weight to your pack. And the name of the game is, you want to try to keep the pack as light as possible. Now, if you're starting off, you're probably going to have a heavy pack. That's fine. But, keep in mind that you want to keep it lighter. That way, when you're doing a 5-mile, 10-mile hike into your campsite, you're not going to be super tired because it's so heavy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the really basics of hiking and camping. If you got any questions leave a comment below and I will get back to you, like I said earlier. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to keep this podcast. You know what? Is it even a podcast at this point? No, it's not. But I'm going to call it a podcast anyway, because this is what I want it to be. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy. Have a good day. And as they say, happy trails.